What up, what up? It's your boy DubblUp. I am the social media savage and the personal branding beast. This is my era. What about you?
Oh, he just came and ripped it.
Hey.
This is My Era podcast. We spark the minds that set the trends that change the world as we know. And it starts right now. So let's go. This is My Era. Hosted by Kuda Biza. And yours truly, Mr. Alexander Starr. This is My Era. Represents everybody who knows they want a better world and does something about it. This is our era. What about you? What up? Thank y'all for tuning in. This is Alexander Starr, and you are listening to This Is My Era, the podcast. We spark the minds that set the trends that change the world as we know. We know if you're listening, you more than likely have a big dream, a big goal, a big vision. And what we want to do is present you with some conversations of people who have the same things and who are actually going for them and taking action and achieving these dreams because they turn them into goals. That's what this podcast is all about. We want you to gain value, and we're just so happy to continue doing this for y'all. If you get value from this podcast, we really want you to leave some reviews. I'm going to say this every time because, again, reviews are what shoot us to the top of the search engines. So drop a comment, drop a review, drop some 5 stars, and subscribe. Make sure you do, because each week we're going to have some really dope people. So today, I got a brother that, look, I just want to say that good people know good people through good people. I want to shout out my brother AXR the Alchemist for connecting me with this guy. I'm going to read his bio, and then we're just going to get into some really dope conversations, because we had coffee the other day, and I was like, dude, you got to come on the podcast. So check it. From drug dealing felon to successful entrepreneur, Curtis DubblUp Washington is out to prove to the world that you don't have to let your circumstances define who you are. Curtis is a personal brand and culture development expert, helping mission-driven entrepreneurs, entertainers, and athletes bridge the gap between their story and their mission by building a culture that will cement their legacy and create a tribe of loyal followers. I love it, man. Dude, you know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Let's talk to the people, man. How you feeling, DubblUp?
I'm feeling great, man. Thanks for having me on. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and I'm feeling good. Got my coffee right here, so I'm in the zone.
Yo, me too. Hold on. Watch. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about, brother. Yo, thank you for joining us, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure, man. Like you said, man, just good people know good people, and I know once we sat down the other day, man, that we're building something great, legendary.
Oh yeah, 100%. And everybody connects in time, man. So what? Let's go into the people, man, and help them connect a little bit of maybe some missing dots that they're looking for. You're a personal branding specialist.
Yes, indeed.
So tell us, what is personal branding for those who don't know, in layman's terms, and why is it so important?
Absolutely. So before I tell you what personal branding is, let me tell you what personal branding is not. So personal branding is not your logo. Personal branding is not your slogan. Okay, those are elements of personal branding. But what personal branding is an internal communication that attracts external vibes. So that's a little top-down view. But what we're really doing is we're taking your story and bridging the gap between that and your mission and building a culture around that. So when you think about culture, I've broken it down into the 3 V's. It's your vision, your values, and your vibes. So when you are clear about your vision, clear about your values, and clear about your vibes, that dictates your communication, how you show up in the world, and it will attract similar minds, people who are up to the same thing. So personal branding is not necessarily a visual thing. It's not even a thing that you have. You are a brand, and it's your space in the world that attracts and deters people that are in your space. So it's very necessary for you to establish your personal brand. Now, some people do it on accident, right? It's just who they are. But when you take a more meticulous kind of deliberate approach to personal brand development, then you have the power in how you show up. And in our online space, you can actually really take the time, strategize, and put yourself out there in a way that's dynamic and in a way that attracts your people.
Yo, that's dope. And, this is my era in AFR clothing. We have a shirt that says your vibe attracts your tribe.
Right. See, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what we talking about, baby. See, so we got some DubblUp personal branding tips going in action right now.
Oh yeah, you know it, man. And I mean, that's especially going into 2019 with these platforms changing and evolving. It's essential that you have a clear and concise message, who you're looking to attract, what impact you're looking to make in this world. And one of the missing ingredients that a lot of people kind of gloss over in personal branding is consistency. Like, it's not just, you can't just show up, but you have to show up and show up and show up, and it has to be congruent. Your message has to be the same each time that you show up. So that is the second element of it, is making sure that you show up, because in
That's
social
huge,
media,
man.
especially, we're in this place where you're constantly being thrown stimulus, so you have to be on top of people's mind all the time.
Yeah. And, that's something that I've been coming to terms with. Somebody, actually, AXR told me, man, he said, listen, Star, I know that when you post really, really great content, but if you're not posting every day, you gotta keep in mind how much other people are posting. And unfortunately, in this social media world, if you're out of sight, you're out of mind, regardless of what you do and regardless of how good you are or how much the people vibe with you. You're out of sight, you're out of mind. So yeah, consistency is it's one of those necessary keys these days.
Oh, absolutely, man. And the thing is, once you've established who you are and you've got a clear, defined culture, you've planted your flag, you've drawn your lines, people are going to subscribe to what you're talking about. It takes time, and that's why it's necessary to be consistent. But once you have captured the hearts of your tribe, they got your back. And so if ever comes a time when, you might dip in consistency, they'll let you know, hey, where you been? We miss you. And that's how you know you've established a powerful personal brand, when your people are now holding you accountable to show up without you even asking them to do that.
Ooh.
And that's like a beautiful place to be, man.
Ooh,
That's
yeah.
love. That's when like strangers, people you've never physically, shaken hands with.
They're looking for you. They're
Looking
checking for you.
They're holding you accountable to the vision and the impact that you're trying to make. Dude, like, you can't ask for a bet. Money aside, like, when strangers care so much about you that they won't let you fail, that's priceless.
That's huge, man. So, while you're cultivating your tribe and you're being who you are, I know a lot of people have been doing social media for a while, and they just feel like, the numbers aren't really growing, right? I feel like that's an issue that a lot of people have. It's like, yo, I'm doing what I do it consistently, but people aren't seeing me. The only people that see me are my friends list, and I need people who aren't on my friends list to see me. I need the people who aren't following me to follow me. So, like, what are some ways that you would approach increasing visibility beyond consistency?
Oh, absolutely. So first thing I want to really put out there is that, there are 7 billion people in this world. And in order to really start a movement, you only need like 1,000 of them to be on your side. So don't think that you need, hundreds of thousands of followers to be relevant. You can be relevant to 20 or 30 people, and those 20 or 30 people got your back. So, quality over quantity. But when we start to think about ways to expand your reach, right? So first and foremost, I 100% recommend having a plan of how you're going to show up. So what I do with clients typically is we start a 100-day consistency brand development program. Just show up for 100 days. And in that 100 days, every day you make it a point to create at least one new authentic relationship with a stranger.
Okay.
And an authentic relationship, ask questions, be genuinely interested, learn about someone new. Because the other side of that, just to be blunt, like, people like to talk about themselves. So if you give them that stage to do so, and you take the information in and you create a genuine interest, you are going to have you've made a new connection. So think about that over 100 days. You connect with 100 new people. Those are 100 new people who are indoctrinated into your culture, who are ready to, that understand what you're up to and either vibe with it or don't. And don't worry about or don't. Because, you know, the worst thing you can have in the world is indifference. But if somebody knows who you are and they disagree with you, that's just as good. That's fine. So that's one thing is make it a point to create new relationships every day. Because you never know who knows who. You could be, you know, you could have 20 followers on your Instagram and come across somebody in passing who is just so in love with what you're doing that they share it with their people. And they may have 10,000 followers. And of those 10,000, 1,000 of them might come see what you're talking about. And it's just growing, but it's that relationship. Obviously, you could buy followers, but don't do that. You know,
right.
Actually build authentic relationships. So that's one tip. And then another one is to expand upon that, like I call it audience hacking. So it's very similar to kind of what's going on right here, where I am being introduced to your audience right now. So if people are vibing with what I'm talking about, they are more than likely to stalk my Facebook or my Instagram or my online presence, and they are more likely to become a member of my tribe. So
audience hacking.
Find people who are in a similar lane, preferably ahead of you, and just ask to share the stage with them. You know, things like interviews, things like features. Even if you take the time to write a blog post about somebody you admire and they go out of their way to share it with their people, you know, it's just more exposure for your name. We're playing the long game here, so this is over time. But, you know, audience hacking is just putting yourself in front of the audience of someone similar, preferably ahead of you in the game.
So naturally, I guess because I'm in the know, when you drop the word hacking, like audience hacking, another switch that flips in my head is also funnel hacking. Do you want to go into that, or should we leave that for maybe a follow-up episode?
Actually, I'm going to go into that just a little bit. So that's the beauty of what we create with personal branding, is that once you've established who you are, once you've gotten your vibe, once you are really just deliberate with how you show up in this world, then the backside of that is creating an automated system for lead generation or ways for people to gain entry into your world without you having to open the door each time. So that's why funnel hacking is such a huge thing. So just to be clear for everybody who's not familiar with a funnel, it's a point of entry that's wide that brings people to one call to action. So, for instance, a funnel can start with a piece of free content. And as people absorb that content, they're offered another piece of content, and some might drop off. But the funnel, it starts to get smaller and smaller. And the deeper people get into your funnel, the more connected they are to you, the more authentic the relationship is built. And the power of technology allows us to do that without being physically present. So we can create an omnipresence and funnel people to our offers, to our main points, to what cements our personal brand without us actually having to be there. And, you know, the funnel is the greatest part. So tell them
how they've already experienced funnels that they might not have even realized. Give them some examples.
I'll give you one of the best examples you can see are on, check it out. Here's Instagram. So influencer marketing is very huge on Instagram. And so what you might have seen is a funnel from, let's say, Colin Kaepernick, right? Colin Kaepernick, we already know him. He has an audience. He did a partnership with Nike. So when you see that advertisement that he put there, it draws you in. You clicked on it. Then Nike then takes you to a page with their products. And you may have clicked on a product being interested in it. Maybe it's a shirt to support Colin Kaepernick's movement. You know, deeper through the funnel. You click on that. Maybe you went to order it. Then they go, okay, you like the shirt. How would you like these socks to go with it? Ooh, upsell. You got deeper into the funnel, right? But by putting your information into that website, they're now going to be sending you emails trying to pull you deeper into the funnel every time they have a sale, you know?
And these emails are triggered by the action you take or the lack of action you take. So let's say
Oh,
you put an
yeah.
item into your cart on Nike.com, and then you don't complete the checkout in 24 hours, you'll get that email that's automated that says, hey, we saw that you still have this in your cart. Come back,
Oh, yeah.
finish up.
Not only will you get an email, but you'll get a Facebook ad saying the same thing. Hey, we noticed you were looking at this item. Here's your opportunity to check out again. So it's just keeping you top of mind.
Right.
And you keep going deeper and deeper into the funnel. But that's the thing. Once you've submitted your information or even expressed interest, you've already walked in the front door. And then it's just them catching you at whatever point you are in your journey. Because depending on what you offer, your product or service, you're going to catch people at a different point. Some people, they don't even know that they need what you're offering. So you have to craft your messaging as such. There might be other people who are dying to get what you're offering and are just waiting for an opportunity. So that's crafting your message accordingly. And it's just like that's the funnel, is bringing them in, finding their point of entry, and then moving them further and further through the relationship. And the more automated you can get that, the better.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you hear this man, Mr. Curtis DubblUp Washington. These are the things he specializes in, and you could just hear it oozing out of him, man. He lives and breathes this sort of thing, and he lives to help other people, man. And that's what This Is My Era is about. This is his era because he's using his knowledge, his expertise, and his passion for helping other people to do something and to improve the lives of people. So what I want to know is, how did you get to this point in life? In your bio, obviously, it said you came from a rough past and you made some choices that you really shouldn't have made, but it made you into who you are. So I don't know how deep you want to go into that or not, but I just want to know how you came to this realization that you're extremely valuable, which you are, and you want to share that value with people.
Man, so, I've been of the entrepreneur mindset since as far back as I can remember. I mean, I can remember, me and my younger brother taking old McDonald's cheeseburger wrappers, putting paper in them, and sitting in the bunk bed and had ourselves a little fast food drive up every time my mom came by. Like, that was stuff that we did. My brother and I had this imaginary, video game company where we take VHS sleeves and we'd print up our own, covers and all that. And we had our own video game company in our heads. So as I grew up, this is, my mom was always just like, do what you feel is right in your soul. And I always felt like I am an entrepreneur. So into high school, I wanted to be a rapper, and I wanted to really take that on as a career. The entrepreneurial spirit within me also said, if you need to make money, you can do certain things. So, I got into drug dealing. And here's the thing. Drug dealing, for everybody who might kind of put a dark cloud over that, the principles of drug dealing are the same as any entrepreneurial endeavor. It's just the product is illegal. So, I got in trouble before I turned 21, and I spent all of my 20s dealing with legal situations. I eventually got sentenced to 7 years in community corrections as a halfway house. And what happened in that 7 years was that, I got a felony, and it became who I was. Once I was actually sentenced and I had to sit down and be with that felony, I became that. That's how I showed up in the world. That's who I thought people saw me as, and it affected my behavior. It affected how I saw myself. And it wasn't until I crossed the 30 threshold where I started to discover that's not who I am. It's not. As a matter of fact, who I am is whoever I say I am. So that entrepreneurial spirit it never went anywhere. It just got suppressed by, being in that situation. They're making me budget my money. They say, no, you can't have your own business. You have to go work for somebody. And, in that time, I really decided that, when I was in the halfway house, I have to do it their way. So I actually enrolled in college. I've got a degree in broadcasting and television and film, acting for the screen. And I almost got my degree in communication. Nice. And,
Congratulations.
And that's why I preach. Thank you. But, all I really got from all that was $60,000 of debt. So it really pushes me to jump into this world of entrepreneurship because it's ownership. It's how you show up in the world. You can create whatever you want. Like, your circumstances don't define you. When I was sitting in that halfway house under the mindset that I'm a felon, I'm not worth anything. Me just thinking that created that. And that's how I lived for that time. And then understanding that, no, I am amazing. I am a contribution to this world. I am valuable, and living that every day. I am powerful. I am a leader. I am creating that with my language. And it is as weird as it sounds, just saying that fires me up, and it allows my actions to follow suit. And so how that merges with personal branding is that if you have a vision of being something powerful in this world, creating a powerful impact in this world, it starts now. It starts with your actions. It starts with consistent movement. It starts with an internal belief that it's going to happen. And then you act accordingly. And over time, people will, you've got people who will look at you today and go, look what he's doing, man. That's never going to work. And then 90 days from now, oh, you still doing that? Man, he's determined. 180 days from now, man, you are killing it.
Right.
Right. It's that same person, but it's that consistency and over time. So you can create whatever you want in this world. If you want to be a millionaire, create that. What does that look like? How do you feel as a millionaire? Because if you really create that and you look at it, that might not be what you really want. But people say it, and then it's like they live what they're doing right now. I want to be a millionaire, but I'm playing small. And it's like, do it now. That's a big
fact right there. He's shooting big facts right now. You got to start behaving as such, even if you are not.
I'm telling you, man. Perception is reality. And
yo, tell me what you told me about Donald Trump the other day.
Oh, man. See, people don't realize, like, Donald Trump is the greatest personal brand of our time because, I
want to give the disclaimer. This is a non-political section. We're just speaking of a person, not of a political entity. So, all right, proceed.
I have no opinion of him as a political entity. This is just purely from a personal branding standpoint. But yeah, man, like, people don't know this, but back in the 90s when he would get press, he told them, you can't print my name unless you put billionaire in front of it. Billionaire Donald Trump is how you will refer to me. And that's how the media referred to billionaire Donald Trump. But people didn't know that at that time he was actually in debt. He didn't have no money. Right? He was borrowing money from his pops to fund these luxurious buildings in Atlantic City. Right? But he didn't have no chips himself. But he set the stage to become a billionaire at that moment. And the funny part is, if you look at Donald Trump's career, we'll call it, he never went away. Like in the 90s, he was billionaire Donald Trump. Then he went to attacking Rosie O'Donnell. Then he went from, he was in Home Alone 2. He was in WrestleMania 23. Like, he's always in your face. And as a personal brand, just think about that. Think about your personal brand as an ongoing presidential campaign where you have a message and your main objective is to get in front of as many people as possible with that message. So when I was talking about audience hacking, hey, that's like going on CNN, going on MSNBC, going on The Tonight Show, and just getting in front of other audiences that may agree or disagree. Doesn't matter. It's the attention that you want, right? And if you're authentic and consistent, then you're going to amass a following. People are going to understand what you're about. They're going to subscribe or they're going to turn their back on it. But as long as they're talking, because there's not one person in this world right now who is indifferent about Donald Trump. You either like love him or you hate him, but nobody's like, I can go either way.
Right.
Right.
And
this man BS'd his way to the president of the United States. Just personal branding. Because I could tell, like, it's funny, we talk about Donald Trump. You could tell once he got elected, he was like, I don't know if this is what I really wanted. I just wanted to win.
Yeah, he didn't know the weight of what it is that he was actually going for.
Oh, no, he just wanted to win. He wanted people to recognize him as the president. Like, he didn't really care if, now he's doing the work and it's like, about that wall.
Right.
But you see, what he did was he created a culture based on some of the voiceless, so to speak, people in the country. This Make America Great Again campaign that he ran spoke to a segment of our country that was just kind of keeping quiet. And it turns out that they outnumber everyone else.
Damn,
that's the reason, you know.
Big facts again.
And it's just like people like us, like there are brothers right now with a spirit to change the world that don't feel like they can. And you and I are the voice for them. That's why I love this. This is my era. This is your era. This is our era. Right? Like, just for people who don't understand that what you have, that fire that's burning inside of you, is there for a reason. And it's irresponsible. I'll even say immoral to ignore it.
Whew.
You know, you don't want to, your legacy depends on it. Like,
get them, Curtis, get them.
Nothing worse than to see somebody on their deathbed with just regrets. Like, I would rather have a lifetime of failure than a lifetime of regret, you know, because at least I tried.
So tell us, with that being said, I know you're doing good things for the young people as well. So real quick, as we wrap up, tell us how you impact the youth and up and coming young minds with this mentality that you're sharing with us on this podcast.
Oh, absolutely, man. So as I mentioned before, like, I didn't play the high school game right. So I want to make sure that I can pass along information that'll help the next generation take responsibility for their life at an early age. Because in digital marketing, they have a term called lead generation. It's when you bring more business in. But the true lead generation are the young elementary school, middle school, and high school. We're like Gen X. They're lead gen because they are the next generation of leaders. They have resources in the palm of their hands, in their cell phones right now, that we didn't have. They have access to every piece of information in the world. And so right now, they are more informed than we were, in high school. I see high school students, we're out here in South Florida, and we had that shooting earlier this year, and high school students were actually taking action. And I want to make sure that they understand that they can create right now what they want to be in this world. Like, the traditional path of you got to go 4 years of college, it's not necessary for everyone. If you want to make an impact in the world, do it now. You have the resources. You have everything that you need. And people like me, you can learn from my history. You can learn from my mistakes. You can learn from my triumphs. And I want to share this with any young person that really knows right now that they have a purpose in this world, because they know it. The distractions are there, but it's not as prominent. They have access to people like us. They can see content. They can look at Gary Vee. They can look at Tony Robbins, and they can download that information and stand for something before they even get their diploma. Like, how powerful is that? And this generation can enact such change in the world. And it starts right now. It starts with them taking initiative and being responsible for who they are in the world. Because there's a responsibility. And, some of us just didn't know that right away. I didn't know that until I turned 30. But, there is a responsibility for every human being to leave the world greater than it was when you came into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Curtis DubblUp Washington. Dude, I really appreciate you coming through, man, and joining me on this podcast. Dude, you add tremendous value.
Thank you for having me.
You have no idea, but then again, you do.
One love, my man. One love, my man.
So here's what I need from you, man. If you've listened to our other episodes, man, I need a drop from you, bruv. I need you to channel your inner recording artist. And you say you used to rap in high school, so you good to go. So I need you to do something like this. What up, world? This is Curtis Washington, personal branding and culture development specialist, and this is my era. What about you? In your own words, obviously, but something like that.
This is my era. What about you? Got it. All right, let me know when you want that.
Ready when you are, bruv.
There you go. What up? It's your boy DubblUp. I am the social media savage and the personal branding beast. This is my era. What about you?
Oh, he just came and ripped it.
Hey.
Okay, and real quick, before we leave out, how can they find you? Where can they reach you? Social media savage. Where you at?
I am everywhere, my man. I am on Instagram at Mr. DubblUp, Facebook at Mr. DubblUp, everything MrDubblup, including MrDoubleUp.com. And I've got a new program launching to help entrepreneurs. It's called Breaking 100 Brands. You can go to breaking100brands.com. Download your free 100-day guide to building a powerful personal brand. And I'm in the building, my man.
Double up. Blessings and love, dude. You rocked it. I dedicate my time to making myself better. And it starts right now. This is
my era. Well, let's go.
This is my era. Oh yeah. This is my era. This is my era. Come on. This is my era. What about you? Everybody runs the race. Some have what it takes, and others don't make it through. What about you? Stand up when they call your name. Stand out when you do your job. Let greatness notice you. If you're just wishing for glory, then what are you asking? Victory ain't sweet if you don't live through the pain. So many great ones before me found glory everlasting. This is what I came to do, came to be. Cause see, this is my era. Oh yeah. This is my era. This is my era. Come on. This is my era. This is my era. Come on. This is my era. What about you?
This is my era, this is my era. The mission and the vision never been so clearer. Seems like the world ain't getting no better. If you wanna see a change, take a look in the mirror now. You possess the key to unlock it. Open up the door, opportunities knocking. You can't deny, on this road that we're walking, there's gonna be some obstacles, but we'll keep on marching. Some will doubt you, even talk about you, but this world wouldn't be the same without you. Golden people on the rise, we know our value. Reaching the impossible, we'll show you how to. Don't know about you, but I know about me. I was born with everything I need to succeed. Living out the dreams, what I'm supposed to do, when I'm supposed to be. Cause see,
this is my era. This is my era. This is my era. This is my era. What about you? The world is counting on me, yeah. To be that change that we all wanna see, yeah. Whoa. And as long as I'm living and breathing, I reach for the sky, giving living a meaning. That's what